Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about the Oilers' 3-2 overtime win over the Montreal Canadiens. A couple meaningless trends I just kind of wanted to bring up. That's just kind of funny to me really quickly. So this is the Oilers' second game against Montreal and their second win. They played the Montreal Canadiens 2 times this season, so that was it. Oilers won both times, but both games proved to be relatively low-scoring affairs that needed extra time, and in both cases because of Sam Montembeault. This is also the second game that involved the Oilers that went to overtime and ended 3-2. When the Oilers played Colorado Avalanche, I thought they played a much better game than they did tonight. But tonight they got 2 points, and on Saturday night they got 1 point. A testament to the difference in talent and ability of the Colorado Avalanche and the Montreal Canadiens. That's not a knock on Montreal, and I'm going to be complimenting them through this video. So, coming into the game, there's obviously an expectation that the Oilers should win. They're the better team. They're the more talented team. They're the better coach team. All that kind of stuff. But none of that matters if you don't outwork the other team. And it's hard to give your A-plus effort 82 games. I don't expect it of NHL players because crap happens. Nobody's done a full 82 game schedule where they had A-plus effort all 82 games. Whenever Tortorella's team is playing, they're usually probably going to get A-plus effort, and if they're not, they're going to get yelled at, and guys get scratched, which was part of the news today for Sean Couturier, but that's not what this video is about. The reason I bring it up is because that was what's going ahead today. It was the brutal efficiency of the Edmonton Oilers versus the hard work of Montreal Canadiens, because if you can't be efficient, you at least got to work hard. That's how San Jose has been able to get wins, Chicago and Montreal this year, because they're never going to be as efficient as the rest of the league, but they can outwork their opponents. And Montreal has been able to steal wins, and I don't want to say be contenders in the playoffs, but not be a bottom feeder team for quite a while this year, even through Caulfield's struggles and injury struggles as well. They still have their issues. So the point is, efficiency does win out against hard work. That's why this league has turned into a more of an efficiency league than a hard-working league like it used to be. That's not to say it doesn't take hard work to be efficient, but you get what I mean, I hope. And Montreal did a lot of hard work to keep it close and gave themselves quite a good chance before shooting themselves in the foot. Coming into the game, Edmonton needed to neutralize 3 of Montreal's strengths, and 2 of them were the Oilers were very capable of neutralizing. The first one and the only one there we can't expect a team to neutralize is goaltending. It does happen where a team is able to neutralize that strength, but usually it's up to the goalie, not so much the team. This Oilers did prove to be effective in neutralizing Jacob Markstrom. There's a reason he doesn't get a lot of starts against the Oilers. But generally, if you're not playing a team regularly, you're not going to, or a goalie regularly for that matter, you're not going to have a chance to neutralize them per se. I didn't expect the Oilers to neutralize Montreal's goaltending strength in Sam Montembeault, and they didn't tonight. He had a great game and was probably the best player in the game today or tonight. Their second need was to neutralize Montreal's top line. The Oilers are very capable of doing that, especially with Caulfield out. But Suzuki and Slafkovsky are still very good and very hot right now, and the Oilers did to an extent, but not really, not enough. And third is Montreal's strength. The third best strength of the Montreal Canadiens is a penalty kill. It has not been very good this year. That's true. But when they're in the zone, they're in the zone. Jake Evans and Joel Armia are very effective penalty killers and very great defensive forwards who keep Montreal in the game, and they did so today. They both had great games today. The Oilers weren't able to neutralize any of those 3 strengths, allowing the Canadiens to keep it close. But let's get into the game. Now it's already nearly 5 minutes into this video. Let's actually get over the game really quickly. So first period, the first notable thing to catch your eye comes 2.5 minutes in. It's Sam Carrick fighting Pezzetta. I believe that Yeah, it was a pretty good bout. Both guys got some good fists in. It wasn't clear who was going to win until eventually Sam Carrick ended up on top of Pezzetta on the ice. So I felt like Carrick won that fight. That is Sam Carrick's second fight with the Oilers in like 2 weeks. So awesome for him. He's been a very sneakily good depth addition. I've liked him quite a bit. Good penalty killer. Obviously, he's got the physicality, totally willing to fight. I don't think he necessarily needed to fight, but the way he works is he wants to set a tone for the Oilers, and he did. And he did set a tone, and that eventually paid off. 9 minutes, 20 seconds into the first period, Connor McDavid scores. I'm not going to say Connor McDavid needed Sam Carrick to fight for him to score, but it might have boosted McDavid's energy. And we'll give credit to Sam Carrick because it happens. McDavid does a wonderful play where he goes around one defenseman and then Sam Montembeault gets Montembeault to bite, and McDavid's able to go around. He doesn't have a lot of room, but it goes in. I think he does it so much that people are starting to think it's easy. That's just how good McDavid is. We're like, oh, well, we've seen that before. We've seen him do better. It's still impressive. Most guys in the league still can't do that. So it's just impressive. So that's his 26th goal of the year. He was assisted by Mattias Ekholm. The period proves to be a tight battle, and eventually Montreal gets a power play opportunity 15 minutes and 55 seconds into the first period. Darnell Nurse goes off for tripping, and Edmonton is able to kill the penalty, and the first period ends. Shots were 8-7 in favor of Montreal. Second period comes underway, and neither team, are able to really dominate for the first 10 minutes, but eventually Montreal gets a chance after in 43 seconds after the halfway mark. Ryan McLeod goes off for tripping, and that power play is also killed off. And 2 minutes after that's killed off, Adam Henrique scores his 19th goal of the season, his first with the Edmonton Oilers, and it's assisted by Evan Bouchard and Mattias Ekholm. That line had a really good night. The Oilers' defense struggled to clear the puck a lot and control the puck, but that line, Bouchard and Ekholm, was incredible. Then, 16 minutes and 37 seconds in the second period, so not too long after that goal, Edmonton gets the power play, a chance to make it a 3-0 lead after Matheson goes off for roughing, but that penalty is killed. The Edmonton Oilers power play didn't look so good. They could have been a lot better. They allowed Montreal's penalty kill to get into a rhythm, and they did. They did very well. Jake Evans, and Joel Armia both deserve a ton of credit for their defensive abilities, but as is always, the goalie is the best penalty killer, and Sam Montembeault absolutely was. So the period ends. Shots were once again in favor of Montreal, this time 10-9, only by one shot lead. Third period, and Montreal gets their first goal 30 seconds in. I don't think anybody set a shutout. Picard has had some very excellent first two periods. It feels like if he lets in a goal, it doesn't come to the third period. But anyways, 32 seconds in, the puck goes off Nick Suzuki's skate and into the net for his 27th goal, and he's assisted by Slavkovsky and Dennis Savard. There's a natural feeling of, especially for the Oilers fans, it's okay, who do we blame? Who is to blame? And you don't really want to blame Calvin Picard, but he might be most to blame. It was a weird play. So what happens is Slavkovsky is on his left side, so Picard's right. Picard is covering the right side of the net, and he does a cross pass to try to get to Suzuki. And CC is covering him really well. CC takes away Suzuki's stick and plays the body well, and Suzuki can't do anything. CC played it so well, unless the puck magically went off Suzuki's skate, which is exactly what happened. CC's skate pushed Suzuki's skate just enough to push the puck into the net. And so you can say, oh, it's CC's fault. It's natural. It's natural for us Oilers fans to say, oh, Cody Ceci, of course. But Cody Ceci played it very well. If I was Cody Ceci, I don't think I would have played it any differently unless you're able to just take away the puck, which is easier said than done. But again, outside of straight up taking away the puck, he played it perfectly as long as the puck didn't perfectly touched Suzuki's skate, which happened. So the redirect turns into a goal for Montreal Canadiens at 2-1. Again, I don't really want to blame Picard because it was kind of a weird goal, but he could have maybe been quicker to get his leg out. If I was Picard, I would take responsibility because that's what you do as a goalie. But from a fan perspective, I'm kind of like, it wasn't like a super hard goal to save. You'd hope NHL goalies can make those saves, but it's hard to blame a goalie for allowing one like that. But Edmonton gets a chance to regain the 2-goal lead 2 minutes later when Slafkovsky goes off for tripping. That power play is also killed. And then a minute later, it's Montreal's chance when Draisaitl goes off for a hucking penalty, and I think I wrote something wrong because there's a goal coming up, but I'm just checking my notes. But I didn't say that it was a power play goal when I wrote it down, so let's just make sure. Yeah, it wasn't a power play goal, so I must have... When did the Draisaitl penalty happen? Excuse me for a second. 4:05 minutes into the third period. Yeah. And so why didn't it count as a power play goal when it was 43 seconds? Oh, I remember, because I watched the game. It was a 4-on-4. That's why. Edmonton takes a penalty of their... No, Montreal takes a penalty of their own, and it proves to be a 4-on-4. That's why it's listed as an even strength goal. So anyways, Caden Gooley scores 4 minutes 43 seconds into the third period. That ties the game. He's a local boy, so there were some fans cheering. He's assisted by Harris and Jake Evans. 2-all game, and Montreal kind of takes over in that third period. Not just by the goal, but they're kind of invigorated. And it feels like they're about to score their third goal. But Edmonton holds them off. They struggled to clear the puck, but again, they were able to hold them off. And eventually, the Edmonton Oilers get a power play opportunity of their own with just under 3 minutes left. Dennis Savard goes off for hooking, and the Oilers this time is like, okay, we've wasted a lot of power play opportunities, and they rack up the shots, and it doesn't happen. That penalty is killed. Montreal enjoyed killing that penalty so much they decided, hey, let's do it again for 4 minutes. That's not exactly what happened. This penalty call proved to be controversial. With 28 seconds left in the third period, Joel Armia, again, one of Montreal's best penalty killers, and who had a great game, goes off for high sticking. I'm going to talk about this penalty for the sake of Montreal fans, because I'm sure they want it discussed. I did get in a bit of an argument with my Montreal friend. I don't know if he's from Montreal, but he's a Canadiens fan. He's got a French first name, so pray for him. And welcome if you're French. Happy to have you here. Anyways, so what happened is Adam Henrique has the puck. Evander Kane is setting a screen, but he's not like, he does it properly. He's not getting into Armia's face. He's just in his way. He's not entering Armia's zone. He's just in his way. And Henrique gives away the puck and all that kind of stuff. Not to Montreal. He passes it on, and so the refs aren't watching the play anymore, which is important to note. I mean, they are watching the play, but they're not watching Henrique and Armia and Kane. And Armia's stick gets into a bad place where he almost high sticks Evander Kane. My Montreal friend said that's not exactly what happened, but Louis DeBrusk said it was happened. Looked like what happened to me. Anyways, but he doesn't high stick Evander Kane. So good job, Armia. But in their little tussle, because they kind of end up banging each other, his stick goes up high and hits Henrique really hard. Henrique goes down. The refs didn't appear to see what happened, but they call the blow the whistle, and they call it a 4-minute penalty because they can't review it if it's a 2-minute. They can only review it if it's a 4-minute. Technically, the ref isn't supposed to call it if they don't see it, but at the same time, the guy's down on the ice really hard, and if he's faking it, you can call it embellishment on him. So they decide, okay, let's call it because A, we call it embellishment on Adam Henrique, or B, something happened that we'd get booed pretty hard, which I'm sure they're used to, but booed pretty hard for missing. Because Henrique did look hurt. He'll be fine, but he had to go off for a bit. So anyways, Montreal fans are saying, oh, well, it was because of the way Evander Kane moved. The stick moved off of Evander Kane's body and hit Adam Henrique in the face. Yes, and I understand that argument. I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, Armia's stick really shouldn't have been there either. It just got lost in tussle, so Armia wasn't being super undisciplined or stupid or anything. It was just his stick was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you are supposed to be responsible for your stick. And the real controversy comes when it becomes a 4-minute power play. I thought it should have been brought down to 2 because I didn't see blood, but the camera wasn't on Adam Henrique's face too much, so maybe it was like all over the place and they didn't want to show it. But I thought it should have been 2 minutes, which is important. We'll get there when we get there. So OT comes around. The Oilers have 3.5 minutes of power play time because of that high sticking call in OT, mind you. And it looked like they weren't going to score. Because once again, Montreal's penalty kill is clicking. And more importantly, Sam Montembeault is clicking. But on their 6th shot during that power play, the puck goes into the back of the net. It's Leon Draisaitl, of course, his 34th goal of the year, and he's assisted by McDavid, of course, and Darnell Nurse. And the game ends. It's important to note that if Joel Armia went off for 2 minutes, which I think should have probably been the case, and a lot of Montreal fans agree, that power play would have ended. And maybe Draisaitl wouldn't have scored. But it was a 4-minute call, so the Oilers still had time and scored. So I don't think it was egregious enough that Montreal can blame the loss on the refs, but it was bad enough that they can be upset. I'm not going to say Montreal fans, well, you shouldn't be upset. You're going to lose the game anyways. No, it was pretty close. It was close to game-changing. I don't think it was game-changing enough because Armia still should have had a penalty. And heck, maybe if it was 2 minutes, the Oilers might have played with a bit more urgency on the power play, and maybe they would have scored, and maybe not. But because they had 4 minutes, they took their time. You don't know. You really don't know. So I don't think it was egregious enough to really say the refs gifted the Oilers that win. But if you see a Montreal fan saying the refs helped the Oilers that game, or got mad, or they probably have a point. Let them vent out their anger. But I don't really feel guilty about that win too much. I'm more disappointed in the Oilers, and we'll get to that. So they did win, which is what matters. That's the most important thing. The Edmonton Oilers won the game. Wow, this is going on for a long video. Much longer than I want to do for reviews. I do reviews, one, because it's fun and easy, but they're supposed to be like these 10-minute things, and we're about to double that. But anyways, Oilers won 3-2, which is the most important thing. The shots were 32-25 in favor of the Oilers because of those last 2 power plays. Montreal had the lead until those power plays. Hits were 28-26 in favor of Edmonton. Face-offs were controlled by Montreal with 58.8% of the face-offs won in their favor. Edmonton was an abysmal 1 for 5 on the power play, but was a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. So there is that going for them. Picard saved 23 of 25. He was above average. He had some good saves. He had some good positioning, but I felt he could have done more on those saves on those goals against, and which is more being picky. And then Montembeault had a great game, 29 for 32. The Oilers' 3 stars, in my opinion, is McDavid, 1 goal and 1 assist. He played nearly 25 minutes. He played just over 24 minutes. So that's first star. Second star was Ekholm, probably, our best defender. He had 2 assists, 3 blocks, 20 and just over 20 minutes on ice. I say probably because Brett Kulak had a really good game on the penalty kill, and I didn't really analyze it too much. It's not like Brett Kulak also had 2 assists, or 1 assist for that matter. And Bouchard also had some really good even strength play. He had 2 takeaways as well. But Ekholm had 2 assists, so I didn't bother in really analyzing who was better or on the eye test, because it's like, well, Ekholm had 2 assists, those guys didn't. And Draisaitl, I didn't think he had too great of a game, but he did have the game winner. So he kind of has to be a star. So good on him. So McDavid, Ekholm, Draisaitl were the 3 stars in that are in the Oilers. For the Oilers, I mean, because obviously I would have mentioned Sam Montembeault. Picard, I left him off because he did have a really good game. 920 save percentage, 23 of 25. I just felt he wasn't as important as those 3 guys, and that's no diss on him. Also, last of note, Mattias Ekholm is now in his career with the Oilers. He's now plus 60, and the Oilers are 57, 22, and 5 while they're with him. That's good for 649 points percentage. He has just been amazing, and that was emphasized in the loss to Colorado Saturday, how awesome he was, and emphasized again tonight. But that's it for now. That's it for this review. Next game is same time, Thursday, against the Buffalo Sabres, a team who got the better of the Oilers not too long ago. We'll see if the Oilers can exact revenge. It's expected Luukkonen will be back in net. He has been hot. And he will probably be hot again against the Oilers. Hopefully not for my case, but nothing against Luukkonen. Happy for you, man. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you think I've earned it, and leave your thoughts down below. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe and turn on notifications, because if you do, there will be some in-depth analysis tomorrow, assuming there's not some cataclysmic event. If there is, I will not apologize for not getting a video up during that. But anyways, that's it for now, and thank you again. I will see you when I see you.